Party all night is the best of the best, best friend weekend. We can party all night is the best of the best, best friend weekend. We can party all night. Shout out the whole podcast crew. Everybody already know what it do. When you really gotta kill it, ain't nobody gonna feel it. When you really gotta tell them it's my crew, it's best friend weekend. We can party all night. We got Ross moving, Lowe's, Rumble, Aldo, Nice is the uncle.
This past weekend, the n.f.a.c was in town, and if you're not familiar, it's the group of people that of late that have been pulling up to cities and towns where a slain black person has been killed wrongfully by the hands of the police, and they pull up with all them guns, them big guns. So nevertheless, they was in my town, and I just got to observing, and with this just brings me to my next point. I just was outdone in a disappointed way. I didn't see none of the ops out there. People that be in the news channels, comments on Facebook, these type of people, the white people that say, they'll do X, Y, and Z, they was nowhere to be found. The super duper gangsters, the steppers, the real goons, yet again, this is my third time popping out to a Trayford Pellerin event. They're nowhere to be found. Or just even the non-super steppers, just the normal black people. They really wasn't nowhere to be found. The turnout really wasn't that gas. And it just had me thinking like, damn, is this a way to evoke change? Because it's like people are just going to make that thing live on social media. Because in the flesh, it really was not that big of a turnout. It's crazy.
I say, whoa, welcome to the Best Friend Weekend Podcast. It's your man Aldo Nice.
Wow. It's your boy Los, aka CAP.
One time for Raj Move, man. He punted on today. So we gonna figure out. I mean, they had some opportunities. I had to change up the content a little bit because I had some specific things. Obviously, stuff Raj want to talk about: cell phones, dogs, sports.
Yeah.
So we had to.
You had some specifics for that boy, huh?
Yeah. As always, man. That's part of being the showrunner, part of being the executive producer.
Exactly.
I gotta figure out what we want to talk about. So next time I guess I'll just save them and kick them down the can for next week. But look, what Rumble was talking about, real stuff, man. I was watching a lot. I was kind of enthralled. I think this was Saturday. I think it was Saturday. I was just watching video after video of the n.f.a.c. and their charismatic leader, the Grand Poobah, whatever his name was. He had a specific type of title, but he was on there talking very real to the people. You know what I mean?
He I think with him, he straight to people's neck. He don't leave a lot to the imagination. He coming direct, straight from the cuff, and he spitting that real right at your neck, man. He not dancing around anything.
Well, the thing about it was, as Rumble said, they came out there, the black militia with all of the guns and all in black and whatever. And he's right. The ops wasn't out there.
Nope.
But I think that it's interesting that he also latched on to the fact that the gangsters and the regular black people and everybody else wasn't out there. Like the black support wasn't out there.
Yeah. And
I think it's interesting. It kind of brought me to this. I started thinking about Malcolm X, the movie. And I remember that scene. When your boy got stomped down, and then they put him in the and then they had him in the hospital. They threw him in the ambulance, and they took off with him, and nobody could tell if he was okay. And then they called the Nation of Islam, and Malcolm X, Denzel Washington, walked down the street. Yeah, went up to the hospital. And it was like, I demand to see brother.
Everybody move. Yeah.
That part. Mm-hmm. And when he was walking, how the other people on the street was like, oh shit, they got the real militia in town.
Yeah.
And like these some brothers with some power, and it was like following them around and whatever. But I guess my point is it gives me those feels, but you can't really recreate that in 2020 because you don't need to be there in 2020.
No, just like he said, and I end up seeing a lot of it from Rumble and the uncle's social media.
Exactly. The IG live stories. I don't have to be there if somebody gonna be IG live streaming it.
Yeah, I don't. But I think too, I feel like if we knew they were coming in town, I don't know how they market themselves or how they set it up or be like, hey, we're gonna be here on this date, and do they? I don't know if they do social media blasts. I don't know who's running the marketing.
Well, first of all, I need you to stop. First of all, I don't want to be on a mailing list.
So, no. I'm not.
Like I don't need them. I don't need them emailing me, telling me they're gonna be in Greensburg, South Carolina.
No, I'm looking for third party stuff. I just want to see somebody who reposted it.
I got you.
I'm cool with that.
I'm with that.
But I feel like if that happens in Houston and we know about it, I feel like we'll fall through. We might not be that long.
I don't want to get shot with a straight bullet if the ops do show up though.
Well, one thing we know about ops is when it's really opposition, they don't want
an opportunity for the opposition to oppose.
They're not following through. You know what I'm saying?
For the oppressing opposers.
Yeah, the ops are opportunists. And when they feel like it's women and kids, they ain't that thing hit.
They will take the option to stay at their house.
Yeah, when they feel like it's women and kids, they will take the option to be there. Yeah. But when they know if somebody else got the same kind of guns I got, we gonna
because there's no way the ops didn't have time to collect themselves to come up in opposition.
The ops followed them. They knew it was gonna be before me.
They didn't want no smoke. They don't want
that. They don't want no smoke. They want to go where it's smoke, but they don't want none. You know what I mean? So they was
posting articles about how there was accidental rounds shot off to try to make it look like, and the whole narrative was like, hey, learn how to use your guns first before you come over here.
These people are violent. They're out here just doing dumb stuff. Yeah, the funny part about these type of things, we've heard that all too often. Yeah, we know exactly what they're gonna do. We talk about it all the time. We know exactly what they're gonna do, how they're gonna try to change the narrative, or turn the narrative, or spin it. We know. Like it happens all the time, so it's nothing new to us. It's like it's almost now where a guy died a couple days ago by the hands of police, and now it's not even a real big thing because we're just so used to it.
We definitely gonna talk about that, brother. But yeah, it's not. I'm not gonna say it's not a big thing. I think it's interesting that the militia is showing up at these places in opposition because it became the trend to where there was a police shooting. People were protesting peacefully. Yeah. And then it was like, boom, now we need to show up with all these guns to make sure you're not looting nothing and all the rest of this foolishness. So it did call the need for this counter militia.
I respect it. I love it, honestly. Yeah. I like that type of energy.
I just think that we're on the precipice of a powder keg in a sense because years ago I remember there was like I can't remember the name, so people out there y'all could probably tell me better. It's like Hell's Angels and like maybe not the Hell's Angels. The motorcycle gang. And they got into that shootout in Waco and like 12 people got murdered. Yeah. And it was just like two rival gangs. They went in there. They was beefing about at a Hooters or some shit, and then they all just started letting off at each other. Yeah. We close to something like that happening if like the ops would have came, because you can't have all them people with them guns.
Nope.
And then somebody not be retarded.
Nah. Yeah. A bunch of people. Guns. I don't think it's just one person. I think it's a bunch of folks.
It's okay
I think it's a lot of people who have those guns just to show. Mm-hmm. But then it's a lot. It's a few people in that.
Well, they want to use them. No, they want to use them.
They ready. Yeah. They looking for any little small thing to let that thing go. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You don't buy a big stupid gun like that just to hold on to. You know what I mean? You don't be walking around with them guns down by your knees just to walk around with it.
NBA YoungBoy should have came with all them guns he got arrested with at the music video.
Well, he couldn't because he got arrested with all the guns. They took the guns. He got to go buy some.
But you don't think he could have no? You don't think they have no more guns? Cause why do guns always be ugly? Couldn't it like them little hood guns that they be putting up in videos? Kind of like with tape on the handle and shit.
You don't know why? Because those guns have been recycled.
Those got muskets.
Those guns come from the street, boy.
No, I get you. No store. I get you. I know, but I just why wouldn't them boys want to get the big Fire's recycled guns?
Because you don't know the big Fire's recycled gun seller.
Yeah, fair enough.
You don't have that contact. Like you got to do with a little dude with some money. He don't want to put his name on them. He don't want to put his name on them guns.
With nothing but grease and dust all over these old broke up guns.
Number old daddies, man. Now he bought from somebody
In Shreveport.
Yeah. No, he got it from the Shreveport police station.
9 times out of 10, they get them from robbing gun stores and shit like that and pawn shops. That's where these things be coming from a lot of the time. Home invasions. Because every time they do a bust, it's like half of them is stolen guns. That's what they be looking for. Steal a gun from somebody's crib and then go use it to do with the serial number scratched off. There you go. That part. Hey man, if they came in my house, that's your problem. If they came in my house and stole my gun, nigga, that would burn my boudin, man. Like, let me tell you some other things that burn my boudin this week. Man, the first thing that burns my boudin this week is getting the same IG post or text message in multiple different groups from the same person.
I know exactly what he's talking about. He did it twice this past week. That guy just be excited. He my dog though.
I'm not just blaming that guy because I feel like I do it. I feel like sometimes. You know, me and you, we in Raw Dog COVID boys. Yeah. We in White Boy Right. Yeah. We in BFW V3. So I know we in them 3 groups together. Yeah. That's probably all of our text groups together. Yeah. We in multiple Facebook. We in BFW BLK. Yeah. We in
Black BFW on IG.
Mm-hmm. It's like a whole bunch of different little subgroups and subpopulations that we in. Like myself and Graham Star, we in the family text message group, and then we also in the H-Town Click group. So it's kind of like, you know, it's a lot of overlapping groups that this is what we love about iPhones too, that you can name these groups. But all of these overlapping groups is kind of like how it's how it makes it a thing. It's like, man, I want to tell everybody in this group, but I also want to know these 4 people to see it too.
Yes. I just want to, I know they're going to laugh at this.
Yeah. I just hate when I just hate when I open my Instagram, like, ooh, I got 3 messages and it's all 3 from the same person.
Shout out, my guy.
With the same message, man. That burns my boudin, man. I mean, listen, if that's not happening to you out there, you don't have enough friends. You're not in enough groups. Because it should happen to you. You should periodically get the same message in 2 different groups from the same person because your friends group should overlap in that way. And that kind of means that you're messy though too. If you got like a friends group with the same friends,
and then you have a sub group with the same friend from that group, but just 2 or 3 of y'all. It's like, you know what, we might be slightly messy. And we typically, that's but the then you got to choose though.
What you say, Los?
That group is formed to be messy though.
True. This is facts.
I think the small subgroups are formed for the messy.
Now my question is, what assisting this burning my boudin is the fact that you got to decide which one of them groups you gonna respond to.
You know what? I respond to one. I hit the like button on the rest of them if I like.
That's usually what I do too. The boy Graham Star, and I mean, you know, I said it twice, so this podcast is definitely brought to you by Graham Star. Graham Star do it to where I be laughing because he'll respond in one like with completely different messages and completely different tone. Like if it's the family group, he'll be like, not completely different messages, but completely different tone. Yeah. Like the family group might be like, man, that's messed up. Yeah. And then in the other group with the dudes, with all the homeboys.
Boy, that shit crazy as fuck, huh? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Same general idea, just a little bit different verbiage. And I mean, that just means he got time.
Yeah, he definitely got the time.
Because you have to have the time to be able to do such a thing. I mean, hey, it is what it is. I don't have the time for it, man. Look, let me tell you another thing. That burns my boudin this week. Fat vegetarians burn my boudin.
Hey, we're gonna put a pin in this one right here, dog. That is the dumbest thing ever to me. You eat veggies for a living, right? And you're fat. So I'm confused on why everybody pushing that narrative to be a vegetarian. When I see fat ones, I don't get it. I can eat meat and look just like you.
Exactly. Like I've seen people before pull up and be like, "Oh yeah, I went vegan or I went vegetarian," and they look real slim, and I'm like, "Okay, that's what's up." I see you. Yeah. But then other people I see and they're like, "Oh, I'm vegetarian." I'm like, that's peculiar. Because
I don't believe
so the term, I don't know if you ever heard of this term, Los. It's called carb loading. Like if you can't eat meat,
you eat a bunch of stupid carbs.
You're eating fucking bread all day and potatoes and all kind of other stuff because it's not meat.
I thought you can't eat egg like when you.
Well, that's vegan.
Okay, gotcha.
Vegetarian is just no meat. Vegan is nothing that they never been part of an animal.
Yeah, gotcha. You're right. You ain't wrong when you're right, my brother.
So yeah, I just think I've had vegetarian spikes. I did months of being vegetarian, but I just never lost any weight being vegetarian because I do the carb loading thing. It'll be like, damn, I can't eat no meat, man. Let me eat this old potato.
Let me eat a bunch of bullshit though.
A bunch of fries.
I think too, when you don't eat meat, I think you eat extra or whatever you eating. Mm-hmm. Because
it's not like we're just sitting over there eating leafy greens all day.
Exactly. Yeah.
And lentils.
Exactly.
What's a lentil?
I have no clue.
I thought it was a bean. I think a bean is a lentil. I should know that,
but I don't.
So yeah, I mean those kind of things, man. You're supposed to be eating vegetarian in your mind when you close your eyes and like, that person is vegetarian. They eat broccoli all day. And they eat kale and salads. Yeah. But in reality they sitting there eating fried bread, Cajun fried bread.
Cajun fried cake. For breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Ice cream sandwiches.
Yeah. Fried ice cream sandwiches.
What y'all eating over there? Oh man, I got some old ball fried.
Yeah, boy, I mess around. Put some French fries on the grill with a little ice cream.
French bread.
Yeah, buku French bread. Fat I got
some buttered French bread, toasted.
Yeah,
with some Texas toast inside of it.
Yeah, the 12-inch daddy with garlic butter on them.
Hey, fat vegetarians, I need you to get it together, man. Look, let me tell you another thing that burns my Buddha this weekend. It is firsthand experience. I finally got an opportunity to really go into some K-12 classrooms and observe students in action with this virtual learning. Kids eating and big chilling on that Zoom burn my Buddha.
I can write a book on what kids do on Zoom.
Write a book, man. I just gave you the landing strip and the runway to be able to say whatever you want to say about this.
When I tell you, I've seen parents in the back rolling a blunt. I've seen parents in the back fussing with their old man. I've seen parents in the back fussing with two different dudes. One dude come in, and one day, next day, that kid come to class. It's a whole other dude. I've seen parents with their big ass booty out, just a t-shirt on, ass shaking all over the screen. I've seen a kid in a smoky house, just look like he stayed by Danny, and he just always hookah smoke blowing all day long. I've seen a kid with just drawers on. Yeah, just drawers, little dick
just poking.
Just drawers. I ain't paying my draw. And then I've seen the mama on Zoom feeding the kid, 4th grader, feeding them. Yeah, like I've seen them titties with no bra on, none but nips poking. You know what I'm saying? Mama sitting there. I've seen mama slap the other child because the child was talking while the other kid was on the live on Zoom. I've seen kid get whoopings. I've seen a bump like that. I've seen kid in the car on the Zoom driving, going in and out of restaurants and stores. That's the funniest one.
That's pretty damn bad. That's pretty damn bad. So I'm telling you, my entry point, Los, was watching that class, and this is what I saw. The first day, the first class I observed was a kid in there. And it was the subtle thing at first that like, they just eating big, eating Takis, licking their fingers. And I'm sitting here like, well, if they was in a regular class, you'd be like, man, put them chips up. Mm-hmm. Or you'd be like, man, you need to ask my permission to go to the bathroom. Or you would say, no chewing gum. Yeah. And them kids know that. So they like, you know what? I think subconsciously they like, fuck you, I'm at my house.
What you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? I'm chewing gum at you. You can mute my screen, but I'm gonna let you see me chewing this gum.
I'm fine with you chewing gum. Like I've told kids, no, don't do that. Put that down. Like kids in the bed, covers to their neck. Hey man, get up, sit up. No, we're not doing it. Sit up. You know what I mean? Like I treat Zoom as my real classroom. So everything I do in my class, I do on Zoom. I talk to you like it on Zoom.
I don't disagree. I'm just telling you that this teacher I was observing let them just be their own little self. Oh, no. And this one little boy, a little Hispanic boy, took off his shirt and he had a wife beater on, and he was in a bunk bed, and then he laid down and he grabbed the top bunk, and then he was doing like pull-ups. pulling himself up in the camera, and then flexing his muscle and kissing his bicep, and then going back and doing it again. Like
I am hanging up on him. Hanging up on him. The first pull up, bloop, I'm off because you're showing out. Because you're showing out for yourself right now. You're being selfish. I don't want to see it. Fuck you. Get off my Zoom.
I'm telling you, that's what the kid did. And I was like, oh my God, this burns my boudin. I didn't know how much this would burn my boudin. It, in fact, does burn all of my boudin. I don't have time for it. I don't want to see it. Yeah. These kids just living their little best life. What you just said about walking in the store, I could totally see that, and that would drive me too. On the phone. I saw somebody post this week talking about a kid. So their daddy hit them up at 8 a.m. and said they're not gonna be in class because they sick. And then at like whatever time class was, the kid logged on, put their computer down like right by the front door, and start riding their bike in a circle around the house.
Did they fuck? No, kids are disrespectful, and you have to meet disrespect with disrespect. You have to.
That's the only way.
That's the only way. You know this from being a teacher.
No, I don't disagree. I don't. Disagree.
You have to. Disrespect gets disrespect. So you want to disrespect me? I'm with it. Let's go. I got time today.
No, I will not allow you to ride your bike in a circle on this.
I'm really what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna remove you so you cannot log back in. So if I remove you off Zoom, you cannot come back. It'll be like they won't be able to come back at all. You have to go in and put them back on.
A big Zoom right up, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't see in the dumb way this been for months. We didn't see people cursing out their teachers and wilding out because you feel a different sense of empowerment when you're already at home. Because what they're gonna do? Send me home? I'm home. Yeah. Cool. Like I'm at my house. You can't tell me what to do.
No, and I mean, you are your mama now. Me.
Yeah, I mean, but on a lot of levels, that's kind of what makes this online and virtual instruction a little tough because those kids are in a place that is typically home. Yeah. Is not school. So it's reserved for them to be able to decompress, be able to be themselves, to be able to relax. And if they're asked to, in that space, still do like the what we would say is the VAB protocol, like their home. Like their home behaviors. Yeah. But now they have to do what academia deems to be like the right way while they're at home. It's a little bit of a culture shock for some kids.
I understand the culture. So I think it's how you set up and how you're raised and what kind of type of parent. I think virtual can be successful if you have the right type of parents. But then also you have to have a teacher and an actual plan in place for it to be successful.
Bing, bing, bing.
For it to be successful. I think a lot. The thing where I know my district is struggling with is parents and the plan part too. You know what I mean? If you don't have a correct plan, like you asking questions, looking for guidance, and they don't have it, you know what I mean? They're like, hey, just kind of figure something out. When you ask a question about, hey, so, okay, what does my normal day look like? How would this look like, me doing whoop-de-whoop on Zoom? You know what? You're a good teacher, and you've been so good. I'm sure you will find something. That's the answer. Bro. You know what I mean? So now you lost searching, so you don't know. They don't know. Nobody knows. You know what I mean? You got to have, you have to have a plan, and then too, you got to have parents who make your house or home put you in the spot where you can be successful and actually learn. So some kids don't like my child. She go sit at the table. I'm not gonna let you lay in the bed in school. You go sit at the table and, get you some water And your tablet, you got notebooks for each class, like normal school. You know what I'm saying? I'll make you take that bonnet off, do your hair. You know what I mean? You have to set it up like so they'll understand, okay, I'm at school for real. But when they lay in the bed and they draws, who feels at school like, So it's those two parts are what's gonna make it. It can be successful or not successful depending on those two things.
No, I don't disagree in the least bit. So I mean, it's just I think that the behaviors that you see manifested while you're in the virtual instruction, like they come from a whole bunch of different places.
They're
that
funny,
don't mean
though.
they can't. That don't mean they can't burn my Buddha. That's all I'm saying.
I agree. It should.
And let me tell you the last thing that burns my Buddha this week, man. LeBron could be playing in Game 7 versus the KKK for the freedom of all black people, and niggas would still root against him. LeBron, AD over LeBron for the MVP burns my Buddha, man.
Yeah. Hey, listen. They hated on Jesus, man. Like, let's be honest. LeBron probably in our lifetime, or anybody's lifetime, superstar wise, and cell phone cameras, everything's being videoed, everything's this. He is the cleanest person we've had
for another about a week until he go home and beat that shit out of Bronny.
Oh yeah, he's getting that Adrian Peterson charge. We know that. But Bronny deserved it. He deserved it.
It's already the black militia is already over there to make sure that the police don't come and get him after he do this shit.
Yeah, the black militia's over there when he was smoking, but they missed that. And he was smoking that good too.
What I want to make you laugh because one of our listeners, this podcast brought to you by Harley Davidson, hit me up last week and was like, he was like, man, it's a shame that y'all put Los 1 on 2. I feel like his argument about LeBron was a good argument. It's just he couldn't have won that conversation because you better at debating than that nigga, and you're nicer than that nigga, and you're louder than that nigga. And you,
nah, he didn't.
Cool.
I disagree with all those things.
He didn't.
But you
but
definitely
you already said, yeah, you're right. So I'm gonna amplify that.
Nah, you gonna go let that go over and over again?
Yeah, I was gonna
yeah, you're right.
You're right. Yeah, you're right, Alan.
You're right.
That's okay. No, but like I told you last time, my argument or my angle was more so about the bubble can be more difficult for other people. Whatever, and it can be like if certain matchups or certain things that the bubble can be tough for the Clippers because they don't match up well with the Nuggets, and it can be easy for LeBron, and it can be easy for LeBron because they match up well. Like it could be not easy for the Clippers. I mean, for the Bucks who lost to the Heat. But it could be easy for LeBron against the Heat because it's a different matchup. Like they big man is Brook Lopez. And they big man is Anthony Davis.
The matchup, so I was telling you, the matchup part is the matchup part.
I just don't think that. I think the matchup part. Okay, this is all I was saying was that it would have been a tough matchup for the Clippers anyway. But I think they win if they're at home in the Staples Center, regular type basketball, going home to your regular life. I think that it's a tough matchup for them. And then on top of that, they're not doing well with the bubble, made them lose that series, which ultimately made it easier for LeBron them because they didn't match up bad with them. You know what I mean? Like that's all I was saying.
Yeah, I mean,
it wasn't supposed to be an indictment on LeBron, like that. I say LeBron wasn't good. It just was like,
I didn't take it that way. I was just saying that from my argument. Well, you know my argument. I was just saying that everybody's balling in the bubble. It's word free. Like we talked about when it first came. I said, boy, this is open run. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's harder because everybody, like it's dudes who never.
Doc asked me yesterday, do you think they can hear the people in the crowd, like the regular people in the crowd, the couple of people who are allowed in there during the games? Yeah. And I'm like, why they shooting free throws?
Crystal clear.
I'm like, no, I'm saying why they shooting free throws, but not why they hooping. Because I'm like, you know how many times we go hooping just open gym and it ain't big. And you can't hear the people on the side because you locked into the game. Unless it's like the ball go out and then you're like,
if somebody on the side talking that shit, you can hear them.
Yeah. You can't. Well, they got to be trying.
Depending on what they're saying.
Yeah.
Depending on what he's saying.
I guess you right. You definitely right, Los. Because if you hit a big three, you can hit them boys on the side. Ooh, Los, killing
that
him.
boy on fire today. He ain't miss.
Yeah, you right.
Yeah, I mean, you can hear him. So it just depends on what they're saying, what you're receptive to.
It depends on how you playing.
Depends on how you basically. Playing. And if you playing like shit and motherfuckers telling you how you suck, you definitely hear him. Or they be like, "Hey, go on, take him." You done been. I know you done heard somebody switch on. You just switched on somebody and be like, "Man, get to the hole."
Yeah.
Like, who they talking to? I know
they're not talking to me. Lock in.
Yeah, exactly. You heard them. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you can hear that. I think that's why fouls are a little different in there because you can actually hear the hand slaps. You know, you can hear the hey when that's the big thing do when they want to foul. Hey, throw their head back. That shit. So
I hate that shit.
I can't. That burns my boot in. But you definitely hear everything. Everything is when there's not a lot of people in the stands. You can definitely hear.
So coming back full circle to the other thing is just this. And LeBron's got more points, rebounds, assists, maybe less rebounds, but he averaging more points, assists, and he averaging more turnovers too, but he carried the ball more. LeBron James, the argument that Anthony Davis, without them, they wouldn't win the championship is ridiculous because the counter argument is that without LeBron James, they don't win the championship.
Well, LeBron both James, of them, they don't even make it to the bubble.
Yeah, that's the thing. You put both of them, so this is kind of the argument, right? When the Pelicans didn't have Anthony Davis last year, they didn't make the playoffs. Yeah. When the Lakers lost LeBron James for injury last year, they didn't make the playoffs. So neither team was a playoff team without those two players.
But I will argue that with LeBron, you make the playoffs.
I think LeBron would have made the playoffs. But if he wouldn't have got hurt, but still, that makes a big difference. I just think that Anthony Davis, if Anthony Davis wasn't hurt, the Pelicans would have made the playoffs. But my thing is, LeBron would be able to will his team further than Anthony Davis. He's better. We watched, I know this, Anthony Davis don't get his own shot. He catch it at the top of the key and he's a spot-up shooter. Or he want to catch it on the move. He don't take the ball up the court and you give it to Anthony Davis at the top of the key and clear out.
LeBron will LeBron would do everything for you to get your points, but actually put it inside the goal.
Yeah.
That's why he do that.
And guess what? And he scored more points than everybody in the finals.
I feel like he's the best player in the world we ever had.
No, but he averaging more points than everybody in the finals, and he never put the ball in the goal. So by the time this podcast come out on Friday, it's gonna be Game 5. The finals might be over, dude. Might be over.
Might be done.
And LeBron should win the MVP. And he shouldn't allow Anthony Davis to win because you know what? That's the crazy part. He's allowing Anthony Davis to get these numbers. He don't have to allow Anthony Davis to get these numbers.
He cool. He just want to win.
He could pass that to Markieff Morris. He could pass it
do the same thing
to J.R. Smith if he ever get in the game. And
J.R. got in there early yesterday.
I know, but I'm just saying he don't have to get Anthony Davis 25, 12, and 2. He don't have to
definitely make sure that man get 30 points a game. He definitely make sure that
he could go walk up to Anthony Davis and say, "Go play defense."
His points. He get the little white dude that's balling his points. He makes sure Kuz gets some points. Then he scores on his own too.
He's averaging more points than everybody in the finals.
That's crazy.
That's crazy that everybody LeBron. Out of here, man. That's all. All I'm saying is that
greatest player we ever seen.
These are facts, man. Look, let's talk about. Well, I don't know. Mike was dope. We can have that argument. Nice, we can have that argument 3 times a year. Mike versus LeBron. We can do that for the rest of life. Let's just continue to have it.
We just schedule it. We just argue the whole.
No. We just need to schedule it 3 times a year forever.
Okay, cool.
Until this podcast is 20 years old, and then we talking about oh boy, Bronny though.
hey, ain't goddamn quarter.
There you go. Now he go. Boy, I love it, man. Hey, man, look. Let me tell you something that don't burn my boot, man. I saw this post on 2 different people's page, and it was the government has released their initial plans to force a vaccine on everyone. And I saw 2 different people. So the part that burns my boot is the person I saw posted. It was 2 or 3 different people, but one of them was his name's Malachi Anwar, and I just was all right, bro.
Hotel.
It's not your name, dog. You went to high school with me. That is not your name. You didn't change your name. You're
not
putting
what your
this
mama
Afrocentric. Yeah, stop it. That burns my Buddha. But what doesn't burn my Buddha is that a message came up like the next day on that post and said false information checked by independent fact checkers, and then there was a little link to see why. Don't I love that? Oh, I love it.
That is right up your alley.
I mean, I guess because it's election season, they want to make sure that people are not putting out a whole bunch of false information. And I'm dancing around the term fake news, but still, you get it.
But I think too, they are definitely selective with who they fact check as well. Like some certain thing they let ride, even though they might know it's not real.
Well, they was like taking off the Trump posts recently, so.
Oh, they really own it. Okay.
Yeah. They're not just letting people say anything, and then because they're backing it up with
Facebook,
the idea that coronavirus is Facebook. That coronavirus is dangerous, and if you're out there saying fake news, then you might get people sick or kill them or whatever it is. So they're doing their due diligence in that way, and I love it.
I like that. That's dope. Shout out to Zuckerberg.
Something else is what Bootsy call him?
Zuckerberger. He gotta get boosted back his IG too. That's he down,
bro. We feel like we're missing out on something, huh?
Yeah.
Something else I saw, like kind of, tangential to that is, this is not fake news, but it's just the way the internet works. I saw this guy that I used to do some contract work for, big liberal guy. He posted something the other day, and I just thought it was super crazy, dope, and on point. He said a tremendous number of Facebook shares are designated to manipulate us. And they follow a pretty simple formula. And this is the formula. They put a true statement that touches on core values you possess. I.e., this brave cop was shot in the line of duty, or this precious girl was kidnapped, or these soldiers sacrificed, something like that. And then the second thing they put is a counterpoint involving something you may not feel strongly about that is presented as opposition to the thing you value. So it's like the thing you value, now they're going to say something that they're going to say like, this is opposite of it. Things like, but those Muslim women, or you only hear about the welfare queen, or but those Democrats. And then the third thing they do is distortions or outright lies to justify number 2, adding fuel to the fire they are trying to spark in you. Now, these two parts in the middle are where the post is designed to change your opinion and make you angry and horrified about a particular thing. Then number 4, before your brain can catch up and question what's going on, an appeal to action that once again touches a core value, such as share to support the troops, or show this little girl that America is still a free country, or I bet most of you won't. All right? And he said, this formula has played out over and over and over. It wouldn't be hard to write a generator for this as an in an undergraduate programming class, which is freaking spot on, right?
Yeah.
And then he went on and wrote a little computer program that would do it, and this is what it looks like. It was like this, and then he put like you can kind of go in there and switch up the stuff. It's like this military service dog gave his life protecting 2 blind choir girls, but how many of us have heard of him? Instead, the mainstream media only wants to talk about, in parentheses, Jewish Black Lives Matter protesters who destroy public property while performing abortions. And he was like, let's see some patriotism and sympathy for these poor girls and give this good dog some love up in heaven. Share if you support freedom. I bet most of you won't. And it was like, but like all of those parts are like, you can just interchange it with, instead of 2 blind girls, something else, instead of Jewish Black Lives Matter. But it is like a mad lib that helps us take down democracy and turn us against each other. And I just thought that was one of the funniest, most clever put together things, because that's what those posts are. It's the same thing.
You know how
all
many
the
times
time.
you got those things from on Facebook in your inbox? Hey, just showing you some love. If you want to be blessed today, which I know you are, you probably won't, but share this.
You probably won't share
people,
this.
But send it to 12 people, I never send it.
Well, now you conflating 2 things there, because you conflating that old send it to a whole bunch of people thing. But I'm just talking about the ones that be on people's walls that be telling you to do something. Because the liberal people have the same ones. It'll be like, Trump is doing X, Y, Z, and how about this? Share this if you want to keep America from being you know, Trump is doing this bad thing and whatever. So it works. Democrats, Republicans, whoever. Yeah. It's always some kind of little weird call to action on social media. So I just thought it was an interesting thing. That
I think all those chain letters, it's some science in all of that stuff.
No, absolutely. And like he said, it doesn't even have to be a person. When they talk about Russian bots, that's all they're doing. That's it. They probably the Russian bots probably coming up with those as quick as they can with pictures that they have some kind of search online to find a picture that looks like it, and then they send it to like some humans to look at it and be like, oh, okay, this was a good post.
Right after they get all the Jordan 1s.
All of the Jordan 1s. Like all every single pair. Not nobody able to get them in them. Speaking of political stuff, man, Trump got that Rona, man.
Hey, come on now. You think? I don't think he got it. Trump, I feel like, what's today? By the end of this week, by the time this podcast come out, I want to say Trump's going to come through and say, hey, I took he might wait till next week. I took the secret serum for this Rona, and I'm healed. One day, I'm good. Look at me, stronger than ever. I feel better than I did actually before I got it.
Well, it's been a lot longer than one day already, though, so that's not going to be the thing.
No, I'm saying he'll take it later on. I mean,
why would he take it later on?
He's trying to get closer to election.
I need you to shut up.
Just saying,
because this isn't what I was going to talk about, but now you're making me have a whole headache. When people be like, "Oh, Trump gonna do this," and Trump doing this for the election. No, Trump got that Rona because he didn't wear a fucking mask.
True.
And all his little stupid friends got that Rona because they was all next to each other talking in each other's face with no mask. They all got that Rona. So anytime people out here in these streets talking about he ain't even got it, it's really just political. No, he got that Rona.
I definitely don't believe he got it.
So I'm talking about you. You are people.
You talking? Yes, exactly. My hands are raised.
Trump Rona.
I got my hand up right now.
Los, do you know somebody who's had that Rona?
Yes.
I know plenty of people who've had that Rona. That Rona is real.
Oh.
And when they say the way that you can get that Rona, I know people in the hospital for like family members. I know it's a thing.
Behind that Rona.
I know people who've died behind that Rona. Yes. Yeah. Dudes I know, like people from home, people I went to school with, they daddies and shit, died from that Rona. It's a real thing. You can't tell me that Trump, like if every doctor in the world is saying, wear a mask, don't be in close proximity to all these people. Mm-hmm. Trump got that Rona. He got that Rona because he's irresponsible and he a clown. Like,
I definitely agree with both of those things you just said. Cause
so that, like, Biden told him the fact that people are saying that he did it and he this is a political stunt, you're giving him too much credit. He's a clown. And he was in people's face when he wasn't supposed to, and he got that Rona, and he really embarrassed. And he was scared. You saw how scared he was? Pussy.
Well, he always looked scared.
No, man, that dude. When he came back and he took that mask off, and he was.
He couldn't breathe.
Couldn't breathe. I can't breathe. He should have had a shirt on that said "I can't breathe," but then they would have thought George Floyd, and he would have never wore that shirt. He would have never wore that shirt.
But my thing is, as soon as he take that antidote, he gonna be all right.
Yeah, I mean, I think he took the antidote already because they said, listen, he been telling people drink bleach. He been telling people hydroxychloroquine. He been telling people all kind of shit. He didn't take none of them medicines. He took the experimental shit that showed the most promise out of any medicine. And what's crazy is, it's working. Like, well, it probably worked. But the thing is, they say all the medicine he took and all of the treatment he did was reserved for like people who've been on their like if this was my mama or your mama or whatever, they would have to be on their deathbed to get these treatments that Trump got like day one. I mean, he the president. I get it. Yeah. He the president. I get it. But you over here acting like it ain't nothing and don't let COVID ruin your life. Live your life. Look at that clown.
And you know what? Open schools. Our kids want to go to school. Open the schools. COVID, it's okay.
I got it. I'm good. I'm a fighter.
That boy knew he had it at the debate too, though.
Hey, man.
If he
really
shit. Got it, he knew he been known he had it.
That's the real part. Like the White House not even trying to release when he got it.
No,
that dude knew he had that Rona before the
debate. Boy might be
they couldn't say have said, "Oh, Trump gonna he's canceling the debate because he got that Rona."
Exactly.
No, because that would have looked so bad. They just let him do it anyway.
Yeah, because Joe Biden get it, he dead.
Yeah, that's what they wanted to do. They wanted to kill him.
Yeah, he tried to spit on our song when he turned to him and said something.
Breathe in him. Yeah, breathe in him. Hey, stay away, Donald.
Tried to sneeze on that boy.
You got me missing the damn Kamala debate to see her stand far away from what you call it. But I'm gonna go watch it right when we finish and see what she's talking about.
I got it paused right at the beginning right now.
So let me ask you a question. Well, not even ask a question. I'm just kind of putting this together. What's crazy is he left out the hospital, whether it was Saturday or Sunday, to go do a little joyride. Mm-hmm. Just to go right back to the hospital to wave at his supporters, which was like on one corner, one block, and they kept replaying the image. Yeah, it wasn't a lot of people, but they make it look like it's big. I mean, it's the same thing as the NAFW, whatever. Yeah. The n.f.a.c rally. Yeah, it's the same thing. It wasn't a lot of people, but it's on social media. Yeah. No upside down. It was the same thing. But when he went on that joyride, they was talking about how he put his Secret Service people in danger. And then when he went back to the White House doing all the photo ops, he putting everybody in danger. Because I know for a fact that when people get that Rona, the doctors have been saying this for 6 months. Everybody in America knows. Everybody in the world, not even America, everybody in the world knows.
Ass away from everybody.
Go in the room, lock the door, and sit there for 2 weeks. You got that wrong.
All it is.
Don't go to the store. You remember they was on Slim Thug ass for going to the store and going ride when he had that Rona?
He went and got some food or something. He said his brother went there and got it, whatever. But you don't do anything when you have Rona. You got 14 days of absolutely nothing. That's what it is. And try to live.
And what they say, and the analogy we said about like pissing on the leg. You wear a mask because then you're not putting stuff in the atmosphere and you won't get other people sick. Yeah. This fucker took off his mask and was walking around. To me, it is the exact same thing as when he cleared out those people in front of the White House to go take that picture with the Bible. You put other people's safety in jeopardy just to take a picture.
For your looks.
That dude is a clown. He a clown. Yeah. I
still don't think he got it though.
He's not giving you a stimulus check, bitch. That's what you get. That's why you're not getting a stimulus check. No.
Just because I think he don't got it.
Just because he don't got it. I wasn't going to get one either because I make that fucking bread. But still.
I got that nigga who stimulus. Well, who need to?
Who get that?
What kind of clown you think? Hey, boy, I spent $1,200 at McDonald's, boy.
No, man, I don't get no stimulus check because I got my money tied up in all kind of things. You know where I got the most stock in? Ito's Hand Car Wash. From the first 10 minutes of the first conversation on the first episode of the Best Friend Weekend podcast, we've been telling you about Ito Hand Car Wash. Man, Jay, Harry, and the fam been servicing, detailing, and shining up y'all cars in East Downtown Houston for as long as we've been doing this podcast. Black owned and operated. Yeah, you heard that right. Black owned and operated, Ito Hand Car Wash has been the standard of an operation that uplifts the community and provides the service that we need every day. A quality hand car wash by good people. Listen, man, if you haven't been there yet, I don't know why. We've been telling y'all for years. What I gotta do to convince you? Oh, okay, check it out. I got you. If you show up to the wash and give the discount code Best Friend Weekend or Wash Daddy, you get 10% off your visit. So we're hooking y'all up. Besides that, if you follow them on IG at EADO Hand Car Wash, you can find out which day of the month the Ito's food truck will be popping up. Oh, I didn't mention, they had their own recognized and awarded food truck on location with an authentic South Louisiana and Tex-Mex menu, Bruna and nachos, stuffed bread, crawfish tacos, all that, man. I'm getting hungry just thinking about it. Man, stop what you're doing. Go to your Google Calendar, make an event, and plan to come through Ito Hand Car Wash this week. 2919 Leland Street in East Downtown Houston. Ito's, revolutionizing the hand car wash experience.
Hey, if you're riding downtown and you own a 610, man, swing on that thing and we get into the bin. Car got dirty because I ran through a portal. I'm going to swing them on leaving and I'm going to get the thing clean. Main Dre, come get me right. Get the inside, dashboard, everything. Riding on that bucket high. Grip the wood wheels and the turn about the thing. Boy, I got a free bill and a plate, man. Edo. Hold up, baby. Yeah, I've been working on that one.
That wasn't. No. We need to get you them drinks to get your freestyling back. Your freestyling skills back up, Los. Yeah, TSU I haven't done it in a while. Freestyling.
Yeah, but we haven't been drunk in a long time, so.
This is true. We don't drink a lot no more. God bless everybody.
God bless our liver.
Our liver telling God bless y'all.
Thank you.
I appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Shout out.
This podcast brought to you by our livers.
Our livers.
Hey, I always had this question. You know, we call freaks runners, whatever, the run. We call them go-livers. Got that term from Blue Diamond way back in the day. This podcast brought to you by Blue Diamond. How would you spell liver? Like a go-liver?
They ain't like liver, I guess.
Or how would you spell like this party liver than the next one? Would it be liver?
I think it would be liver.
I think it's liver. That's how I always spell it. Sometimes I put L-I-V. Sometimes I put L-I-V-E -E-R.
That's because you smart.
But that's not right. That's not smart.
No, I'm saying because you understand like, oh, if I put liver, like go liver, what? But anybody who know what a go liver is will understand. It depends on, you know what? It depends on what group you texting.
No, you're absolutely right. I might need to spell it differently from different little text groups. You stupid. Hey man, you mentioned earlier the guy who got shot. Jonathan Price got killed in Wolf City, Texas. And I obviously wanted Raj Shmoov on to talk about this story for obvious reasons. The reasons are super, 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 super obvious. Since Raj isn't here, I'm still gonna broach the subject. And I'm pretty sure that people out there who listen to the podcast know exactly what it is. If not, I'm gonna talk about it here. And if y'all want to hit Raj Shmoov, man, go ahead and hit him up. Feel free to ask him his thoughts and opinions on this because it's an interesting story. So the thing about this story that's interesting is that Jonathan Price was breaking up a fight in Wolf City, Texas, a town about an hour north of Dallas, and a population 2% black. And there was a fight at the gas station. He tried to break it up. It was already broken up. The cop comes, a rookie cop named Sean David Lucas, walks up and tries to arrest Jonathan Price, who everyone said wasn't doing anything, and he kind of broke away from him and started walking away. He tased him from behind and shot him from in the back, is what they're saying. And so he got arrested, $1 million bond, like he's in jail, like they did everything, like there was a light protesting, and the cop was in jail within a week. So it was like not like a lot of these other ones, and it's a lot of different social commentary of people saying, "Oh, well, the cops acted quickly on this one and whatever." And the social commentary that kind of comes full circle is that we have had this conversation on air with Raj many a times over the years. Yeah. Hopefully next week, I may bring it back up. I'll let you guys determine. People out there, I know y'all don't always respond, but y'all can let me know if y'all think this is something that y'all want to hear on air. About being close to whiteness does not give you a protective barrier.
When you're black.
When you're black. Absolutely. And there's so many parallels between that conversation and this because this is kind of where we're going with it. So let me tell you about Jonathan Price. Price. So he posted this. I'm going to give you some of his posts. I'm just going to read them out loud, man. If you haven't already seen them, I mean, it's some stuff to see. With all of the tension and animosity going on with race and the police, I'm on the fence as Lil Wayne, with him saying a white cop saved his life and hasn't been too vocal based off his experiences. I was raised by the Malones and the Woodruffs in my hometown for a large amount of my youth, and that was my second family then, and they still are in 2020. And if I have to say anything, the amount of food fed to me, the money they spend on me, outweighs the BS about race and color. Right now, I've family that have never done a damn thing for me. He's talking about black people. Or supported my business ventures, and they're my blood. They will forever be a million in my book, and they know who they are. They're to blame for my countryside and addiction to white women, not complaining one bit. There were times I should have been detained for speeding, outstanding citations, outdated registrations, dozing off at the red light before making it to a garage downtown Dallas after a long night of drinking.
Thought you was better.
I passed a sobriety test after leaving a bar in Wiley, Texas by 2 white cops and still let me drive to where I was headed. And by the way, they consider Wiley, Texas to be very racist. I never got that kind of energy from the police. Not saying black lives don't matter, but don't forget about your own or your own experiences through growth or waking up. And then he put hashtag God's plan. He also put now in May, at the first day of June or last day of May. Now y'all are increasing the chances of more profiling by cops when they roll them troopers in this town this summer 2020, and I haven't experienced profiling. Y'all won't be getting them to leave town after this idiotic stunt, aggressive rioting. How many blacks y'all gonna get pulled over and jumped by boys in the uni across the world? Just fanning the flames, dummy. I can't even claim it. He's talking about black people protesting. On same day, he said, all this race shit makes me want to throw up. It was here in our history lessons and it's still here today. Basically, it's not going anywhere. Vibrate higher, elevate higher.
So what you... Well, he can't tell me what he suggests they do because he's dumbass dead.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, I'm not disagreeing with you. Like, the headlines are Jonathan Price was Wolf City's hometown hero and he was killed by the police and the police got arrested quick and everybody is like coming out. Hold up. And everybody is coming out and saying he's such a great guy and he was an upstanding person, black, white. Everybody loves it because they love the message he was putting out. But you know what's the crazy part? I guess you get good media coverage, but you still get fucking murdered.
You're dead.
Everything
more than you talked about, the energy you was putting out there saying, oh, this race stuff, I've been put over by cops and nothing happened. Yeah, you thought you were bigger and those things don't happen to you. And one of them motherfuckers shot your stupid ass. That's karma, dog. You can't.
I don't know if it's karma, but it's just
it's a sense of karma
it's the conversation. No, it's the conversation we had with Raj Los, and I'm not gonna I wish I had that much of a mental Rolodex of exactly what episodes so I could let you guys go back and listen to it. But when Raj said that he's never been a victim of racial profiling and race, crazy. And how he never felt like it would ever end up happening to him because he just complies and all of these other things that these tropes that black men say when they want to kind of feel like, nah, it would never happen to me.
And that's how.
But the part that you just fail to realize is you black. And it can happen to you, dog. And I mean, I feel bad for Jonathan Price because he never is gonna know. He's never gonna know. He pulled away from that man, and he probably was like, "Man, let me go, man. I'm good around here, man. Like whatever, man. I was helping these white people break up their domestic dispute. I am fine. I'm good." And then next thing you know, the last thing he felt was bang in his back, and he didn't know he was gonna get murked, but he did. Now you're dead because you're black. Not necessarily. Other people would say, "No, it would have happened to anybody."
You black, and you thought the way you think
that the rules didn't apply to you.
They didn't apply to you because you think a certain way, like, oh, I'm black, but I got this. I'm doing this. I'm this way. I got these friends. I'm doing that. So when you think them rules don't apply to you, and you forget that at the end of the day, you still
they'll remind you. They reminded him.
Yeah, Rick Ross. I think it was Rick Ross in one of them songs. He said, "Oh I forgot," but he was saying something to the effect of, $1 million house still a nigga. You know what I mean? Like people don't care if you rich, if you know all your friends white, you only date white girls. If black folk push you to that point, whatever, nigga, that white man see you are a nigga to him, and he's scared. And he gonna shoot your ass.
And I mean, I'm not trying to say that, like, obviously, we preface it by saying this is not everybody, and it's not like
no.
It's not a universal thing, but it is.
Shout out Harley Davidson.
It's a disheartening. It's a disheartening state of events.
It's real
when somebody really says and really feels like this issue of police brutality and unequal treatment of black people, and that they have elevated and they personally are above this. Because it is the exact thing that I told, and I remember telling this to Raj verbatim. I remember this conversation like yesterday when I said, I pray that you never have to find out the hard way. That nigga found out the hard way.
Yeah.
And that's the worst part about it, that like that man had to find out the hard way with his life. That
I don't, because Al, as wild as me and you get, sometimes we be out. If the police can grab one of us, the other one will make sure, hey man, just sit there. Don't move, chill out. You know what I mean? But when you don't understand it or feel that way, you think, oh, the way I think and where I move is, I ain't black. No. You are. I'm just gonna go in my car. I'm not stopping. You can't tell me what to do. You tripping.
No, it's messed up, man. You can't do this. No, certain people can do that, can tell that to the cops and walk away. Not everybody.
And it's their pigment, though.
Yeah.
It's their skin pigment. And we watched it. I think I sent it to the group. White man go clean off on the laws. Hop out the car. Cuss the lawman completely out.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Cuss that man completely out. Black dude sitting in his car minding his own business. You ask him, he got a gun. He going to show, okay, yeah, it's right here. I'm a
Philando Castile, yeah.
You say, go, okay, get it. And then you shoot that man in front of his old lady and his kid. Mm-hmm. You kill that man. Like me being a father or anything, I don't think that man going to shoot me in front of baby. Like, I wouldn't think Philando would kill me in front of his kid and his old lady.
Yeah.
That wouldn't even be on my head. He told me he had a gun. Yeah, I'm going to be, okay, let me step back. But I wouldn't even be thinking this man going to shoot me in front of his old lady and his kid.
But all them kids in the car. But they said Jacob Blake, I thought he was stealing them kids.
Come on, man. Dog,
they'll come up with whatever narrative they want to afterwards. But at the end of the day,
thing. Dog, they'll paint like they make that thing look like a new apartment, boy.
It is the skin, and that's the biggest thing, man. Listen, I hate to put this hard pivot on it because this kind of talks about something that's a little bit more lighthearted, and it's just kind of that idea that Bayou Classic is going to Shreveport. Is Shreveport ready for this, man?
Yeah. It's you know what I mean? We ready.
Y'all got okay. So let me ask you some questions. I'm gonna ask you real questions, not no bullshit. Yeah. So after Hurricane Katrina, I think it was Bayou Classic and maybe even Essence was in Houston. Mm-hmm. And it was poo, and everybody said it was poo. And the reason everybody said it was poo is because everybody was like downtown Houston trying to be like on Main Street and kind of walking up and down the sides of Main Street. You can't do that. There's no Bourbon Street feel. There's there's nothing like that. Yeah. Where do people go in Shreveport? Like, how does that become a thing for that classic in Shreveport?
Downtown where we was at, and we have also across under the bridge. They have a whole little thing where everybody can go and congregate and do all that stuff. Like,
but is it big enough for people to congregate? I mean, is it like? Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but is it like places where it's like people can buy drinks and be hanging out in bars?
Yeah, you can follow. Yeah, you got to realize Shreveport's still Louisiana, so you can they'll make it where you can just go in there, buy your drink, and walk out there with that bitch. Like that's.
The thing about it is Lafayette, they would have like a place like that, like the I guess Jefferson Street, but they wouldn't allow black people on that street because Lafayette's notoriously racist in that way. Oh, okay. Shreveport has places that would allow black people.
Black folk, all that downtown area right there where we was at, and across under the bridge over there, they'll let you walk from you can have all of it from the boat. Just don't go by the boat playing, with that nonsense because they killing people over there, and they hide you and throw you in that water. That's the mob.
So the next question is it gonna be warfare on the streets of Shreveport?
Oh yeah. Yeah. This is gonna be. You remember? This might have been 01, 02 Bayou Classic when they were just murking everybody out there.
Yeah.
Like, and then before that one, it was when they whenever you could you let people drive up and down Canal all Saturday night because now they shut the street off Saturday night. I'm talking about when you could drive up and down Canal all that night and boys out there dying like left and right. It it has the potential to be like that.
Well, yeah, I mean, I laid out my whole 10-point 10-point reason in one of our text groups, and it just was that I said that a bunch of people gonna be out there, like small town Hall of Fame cats. Nobody's gonna fly to Shreveport. They're gonna drive to Shreveport from Dallas, from Houston, from Memphis, from Arkansas, from Baton Rouge, from New Iberia, from Lafayette, from New Orleans, and they all gonna be over there, and in every small town in between there, Vicksburg, Mississippi, and everywhere,
Alexandria.
Yeah. And they all drive in their car because they want to show off they got a fire car. And when they come with their car, they're going to have their guns in the car. Mm-hmm. So they're going to be over there with a whole bunch of people with cars with guns in them and a whole bunch of bravado of, man, y'all not about to come to Shreveport and run us because we run it. So every Shreveport cat going to be
with berets on their hair.
Bunch of Shreveport cats going to be out there in the clubs, in the streets. Standing around looking for the beef. Like, y'all not about to come over here and tell us what's going to happen and how this is going to go down. That's not how it's happening. So they're already going to have that combustible attitude. The dudes coming from out of town is going to be like, oh, man, I'm trying to get on these little chicks, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But if somebody want that static, whatever. I think Shreveport Cats is going to be the first one shooting. But I think that it has all of the potential to be a bad situation for, like, homicides and whatever. If everybody just even if you even listen,
they've been killing each other all summer. They've been killing each other all summer.
Los, even if it was like contained to like a club, like they had clubs and bars, them niggas from Shreveport would be upset that the people from out of town coming and getting all the sections and having all the drink and flossing and flogging in their city.
You're not wrong when you're right. You heard me? Like you did right. You know exactly.
The one thing I can say about New Orleans I'm just gonna say better. Better is the only way I can put it than every other city in Louisiana.
They used to
it. Well, not even that. There's a separation, and the type okay. So the killings that happen at like Bayou Classic or whatever Essence. Not so much in Essence, but Bayou Classic. It be on Bourbon Street by younger people who be on the streets getting into mess. Yeah. But there's this whole class of people who like, I'm not going there. I'm going to Metropolis I'm going to the Harris to the casino to Masquerade.
Yeah. Masquerade.
So there's those type of things that people can go to that's not the streets. Mm-hmm. That's the thing that like in any other city. There's no like club in Lafayette that's like the upscale brothers could go to that the hood cat's not gonna be at.
One thing I can say I know about Shreveport, they got some people out there, and we got a couple of buildings. They gonna make one of those. Our little dude I know who promote out there, they're gonna make a club out there for that. Like,
but this is my question.
There's only one though.
Are they gonna be strict with the dress code, the requirements to get in, all the rest of that? Because all of that stuff matters. Like,
I agree. I don't know that. I ain't get to it, but
like
I know
Metropolis in New Orleans, they're not letting you in hood style, and that's why it's a lot of less of that nonsense over there. Yeah. In New Orleans, you can go to find what you're looking for. I just don't know if you can go to Shreveport and find a place to just be mellow. Like even the spot that I went to with you, that wasn't the most mellow night ever. That just was a regular Saturday night.
Yeah.
Imagine that same club with people actually spending some money.
Like we was.
We was. But a lot of people doing that. Like, why they get that section? Them boys ain't got no money.
And that's how it's going to be. We got money too. That's the first thing. We got money too. You ain't wrong.
I'm just saying.
It's going to be crazy.
Are you going though?
Yeah, I'll be out there.
Where you going to stay?
My mama's house.
Now cue up that music for nothing
nice. You know they say if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all.
If you can't say something nice, don't say nothing at all.
Nothing nice to say, but Al don't nice.
Ain't nothing nice. You hear me?
Now, as I open up my story with a blaze of the blunt, so you can see this picture slowly upon the phrases I run, and I could walk you through the days that are done. I often wish that I could save everyone, but I'm a dreamer. That's some classic lines, man, from Scarface, man, on the track Smile, if y'all remember that. Smile for me. That came out with him and Tupac right after Pac died in 96. Man, when I think about that, man, 1996, I think about how young I was when all that took place. I was literally a freshman in high school, September. So I was just starting high school.
Me too.
But that was 24 years ago.
We old.
All the things I did in them 24 years, man. Just think back and like, what you did in the last 24 years, man. High school, college,
had a child,
first real jobs, children, home ownership, cars, vacations, just birth of just family members, death of people. Like so much stuff happened in 24 years. Now, somewhere in that time frame, I was a teacher in the same school district that Lo still works in, right? That's actually how we basically know each other, basically for the most part.
My guy.
Taught at a middle school. In that time when I was there, I thought about that role and I took it very seriously as being a positive deviant for my community with those kids, right? And one of the highlights of the things was we took a group of boys to DC to give them some exposure to something outside of the projects, right? Mm-hmm. There's varying degrees of success. Some of the guys, we're going to get them on the podcast soon. They was at Best Friend Weekend, a couple of the boys who went to DC with me. And they got a clothing line, man. Shout out, man. Cozy is what it's called, man. Cozy Gear, man. So y'all look out on that, man. So some of the other ones went to school for college football and basketball. Mm-hmm. Some other ones just in college, man, just doing their thing and whatever. And I mean, that the list goes on and on. I taught little kids, maybe not on the trip, but some that was like athletes, boys who in the NFL. I got kids who play for the Titans and the Texans right now. Got rappers, man, Young Deji and D Flowers and John Patrick. All of them like they doing their thing. And I mean, D Flowers, he took the hood route. He went to jail for a while. But then he popped out and he was like, I'm on this music, and now he world star every week. Look up D Flowers. Yeah. The boy go hard. I mean, they even got Primerica selling dudes, man, like who be on their little thing talking about some buy this with me, buy that with me. They got their hustle. They got frat boys who alphas and kappas and some sigmas and a couple Qs, man. We got fathers. They got a whole bunch of different people, but they also got them niggas who couldn't leave the streets alone. And one of them cats that I took to DC, man, he got killed last week. Walking distance from my house. They shot up a gas station and ended up killing him, man. That always hits close to home. It's never going to not hit close to home. It's probably the fourth or fifth student that I didn't know who done got murdered. Yeah. That was in my middle school when I taught there. And I mean, there's countless other ones who was in jail for violent crimes and not getting out. And it's a lot, man. It's a lot to process because, you do your best and you think about how you can set a positive role model and you can do these things for these kids when they're in those formative years, 11, 12, 13, 14 years old. And like, I can be a role model and show them that there's a different way. But, it sucks when you run into them in the street and they're like, nah, I ain't got nothing going on, because it's like, you can only do so much. The environment's gonna come into play. Yeah. Parents is going to come into play. Friends are going to come into play. It's a lot of things. And, sometimes you can see them headed down that route. Sometimes you can't, but it just sucks, man. Because ultimately it just brings me back to them lyrics, and specifically that one line that always sticks out. I often wish that I could save everyone, but I'm a dreamer because you can't, right? And I ain't got nothing nice to say about wishing I could save everyone, but ultimately being a dreamer. So I won't say nothing at all. Los, your kids, I had the Harlem Gents Club. We did that for a while, and then you kind of had a club that's modeled after the same thing, the Making Great Men. And the fact is, they're kids. They're a lot younger than my kids, but in the big scheme of things, your kids are now entering those same ages of like where my kids were, where they in them streets. Like your first set of kids is in their 20s.
My first set of kids, my first set of kids are about 22, 20, damn old. Yeah. About 22, 23.
So that's what I'm telling you. My first group of kids is like 26, 27, like it's.
So you start thinking, and like, I never forget, we taught this same kid together, Devon Sway.
Yeah, Sway.
We taught him together, and I could see who Sway was going to be as a adult, right? And when you came through, we talked. When I met you, we talked about him, whatever. And I remember one time we was going knock. You know, they had us knocking on doors trying to get people, kids in the school and just talking or whatever. And I knocked on the door and it was hollow inside. I said, "Well, this is a trap house." And no, you know, you knock on the apartment, you can hear if no, you know, it was hollow, so you can hear the echo,
the walls, revert the echo. Yeah,
you can hear the echo in there. So, you know, me being who I'm like, oh, it's a trap house. And they do like, what you need? I'm like, you know, I'm coach such and such from, you know, whatever school. And, you know, I'm here to talk about what dude. Boy, open the door. Man, coach, what you doing out here? I say, swear, you ain't here selling dope, boy? He like, man, hold on, trip you loud. You know what I mean? Like, it's those things. I had a kid get killed too. Little kid, but he was bipolar. And, you know, he done been to school acting a damn fool before. When I walk in there, they be like, Coach, come get him. You know? But they, you know how they treat men on campus, like, Coach, come get him. And you know, it's a different, you know, we have a different rapport with those kids. Because number one, we all went to school with a kid like that or a dude like that. So I know, you know, I know how to handle you or what I need to do. And number one, you know, number two, you're a child. So
and they like the attention of somebody who's going to stop and talk to them, man.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Yeah, those things. So, you know, I used to check him, and then saw him at the gas station one day. I gave him like $20. He was hungry. He was just out, just down bad, like 16. And I shot that boy in the head, man. Blew that boy whole head, had a closed casket. You know what I'm saying? Blew that boy whole shit off. You know what I mean? Like, so it's, when you hear stuff about that, only thing what I thought back to was the actual kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he was a kid. And this kid was a good kid. He had a chance to do this. You know what I mean? Like, you know.
It could go a bunch of different ways. You never know how it's going to go.
You never know, man. It's a left or right turn, or you keep straight. You know what I mean? So, you know, those things
I'm telling you, like the kid who told me,
bit, man.
The kid who told me that he died, I actually, it just was crazy. I was out walking in my neighborhood one day, and the car just swerved and pulled up on me on the block.
I remember you told me about that.
Yeah, and the nigga was like, I was nervous. I was like, man, who the fuck? Dude hop out the whip. What up, Antoine? I say, oh man, what's up, boy?
Yeah.
And I'm looking at him and I'm like, yeah, that boy had been locked up. And he like, yeah, I've been locked up for a minute. I just got out, you know, my baby mama just passed. He telling me this whole story.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking back to like, damn, when that boy was in middle school, how his mama and them used to make him stay home. Yeah. Because his mama was like, nah, you the man of the house and they got shit going on over here, so you got to stay. And would lock him in the house. Yeah. Like he used to take care of these kids, your brother. Yeah, and he wouldn't come to games because his mama wouldn't let him go to school that day. Yeah. So you know that it was like whatever. I'm happy that he's still living. You know what I'm saying? And all the rest of that. But at the same time, like he telling me about his partner who then got murked. Mm-hmm. And now, how do they react to that? You know what I mean? What do they do in retaliation to that? Yeah. Where does this where that really go? Yeah, I know, and that's the crazy part because it's like the whole community suffers when stuff like that happens. It becomes now another kid who was in another teacher class.
The mama of the victim and the mama of the shooter. You know what I mean? And two, the boy still, you know, out here walking the streets, because you know how the streets talk. Everybody know who did what.
Yeah, everybody know who shot them people up. Not the police, but everybody else.
Yeah, they looking for that boy. So that boy, the victim, the boy who shot, you know, who shot the guy, and the boy who about to try to go kill him. You know what I mean? Everybody, it's a bunch of loot. Like, if they got kids, their kids losing a daddy. That's 3 black men off the street. You know what I mean? That's 3 black men gone,
behind some foolishness. And
nonsense.
I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's not a lot you could do about it.
No.
Except for try to do our part. But you know, that's always, it's never not gonna hurt your feelings.
Make you feel
when that kind of stuff happened and you feel like you could have been an agent of change or a positive role model. Because, and I'm gonna end it with this, Los, that I think about how much could we actually do, right? You know, you were dealing with kids between the ages of like what, 8 to 11, 8 to 10,
8 to 11, 8 to
11. And I was, like I said, I was like 11 to 14, and I think that I can be I can take a kid, put him on a plane, say we're going to DC for a couple of days, show you some stuff, be clowning with you, dapping you up, what up, boy, like blah, blah, blah. Anytime I see you for the rest of your life, it's going to be love. We're going to dap each other up, blah, blah, blah. We're going to share that experience. But by the time you get to high school, you got a whole nother set of teachers. You got a whole nother set of role models. And maybe you do, maybe you don't. By the time you get out of school, it's like how much, like I feel blessed. And I probably need to, when I finish editing this podcast, text the other cats who doing the right thing and just tell them that I'm proud of them, man, and keep doing it and that people watching, because I think that maybe our words in just that kind of a small gesture to let them know that we still rooting for them and we still think it's whatever might be kind of a positive way to go about it, man. I wish I could have reached out to the young brother and just hit him up and had some kind of a conversation, a meaningful conversation before I had to hear about it that way.
The thing with, especially with me and you, we came from great homes. You know what I mean? Like, you got to realize, we talking to kids whose home life was kind of fucked up for the most part. So when we having a discussion with them, we had friends that had fucked up home lives. So
absolutely.
I understood what you were going through. I understand how it feel to sleep on the couch, and that's
even if I wasn't doing it.
Even I never had to sleep on the couch, but I get it because I know people and I know how they move when certain, sleep on the couch for your bed ain't comfortable. So that's in the front of the house. Everybody
and I
come
know how
in.
My mama would be like, "Don't have them cheering in my house. They're looking at my stuff in here because they know better too."
Yeah, exactly. So it's when you see kids like that, you do what you can. You try to have conversations with them, but at the end of the day, the way I think the way the school system kind of failed kids of that nature, it's not linear. When I say linear, I mean that it should be a program for elementary, middle,
like a vertical alignment type thing.
That it should be a program for that all the way through for just those type of kids. And like you said, they should fund kids going to, like, I used to take my kids to Olive Garden to eat every year, and them boys was elated to go to Olive Garden. Like, what?
Yeah,
I've never been here. Like bowling, stuff like bowling. Took them downtown. Them boys was like, "Coach, are we still in Houston?" I was like, wait a minute. You ain't been downtown?
They ain't been on the other side of the Beltway, boy.
No. You start to understand those things. That bowling alley on Boone, them boys ain't been to that. What's that? What's the thing about? What is that? That's like it's space age. Bowling. Some things we took for granted, or we kind of still take for granted. Like they cherish those things. Like I wish I raised enough money to take my kids on a plane. Even, I'm saying just even if they go to Dallas and then turn around and fly back. Right. You know what I mean? Like, stuff like that kids remember, you know what I'm saying? But then the thing about what we do is after me and you get them, I get them, then you get them, and then they lost. They in the street. You know what I mean? They gone.
And then when it's so many of them, it's tough because it's like, if it's 30 kids you got and 27 are really like wanting to do right, and then 3 of them kind of like trying to do street shit, you try to love them up, but it's tough because it's like, you know what, man, look, I'm gonna try to save these 27 that I can, man. I'm gonna try to.
That's
I'm gonna try to save these 90% of the kids, that's and y'all 10% who want to do stupidity. Yeah. I can't save everyone. I'm a dreamer.
And you know what's funny? And you know what's funny? That's the same thing about the classroom.
Yeah.
If a kid, you got 3 kids in the classroom.
No child left behind, man.
That ain't real. You got to leave them behind sometimes because you're doing this service for them other 27. Trying to say these 3. I think we focus more on the 3 than we do the 27.
Well, I mean, I know that's how you feel because you be kicking them off the damn Zoom. Hey, man, listen, dog. We appreciate y'all kicking it with us. I know the highs and the lows of this week of this podcast. Yeah. Hopefully, like I said, we get Raj moved back. Be on the lookout for some real big things coming from Best Friend Weekend. We refocused a little bit, had some conversations about some things we want to bring to y'all in the upcoming weeks. So we're gonna try to get back to our visual media.
Go get the merch, YouTube, man. Stop playing. Go get some merch, bro.
The hoodies out. Pop-ups.
We got hoodies.
The hoodies ain't necessarily out, but they should be out.
The Marvin was out.
You right. They out. I'm gonna go put in the order this weekend. They out.
I got it.
They out. I'm gonna go do the pink ones. I'm gonna get a stock of at least by 36 of the pink ones, and I'm gonna get. John Murray was big adamant about wanting some red ones too. So I might do something ignorant with like a red with the "We Could Party All Night" on it. And boy, we'll see. We'll talk about it.
And the back part, I'm gonna be the first one with that one. So y'all be looking out.
Hey man, until next time, man. Y'all have a great weekend. Make it a best friend weekend.